Hello, greetings everyone. I welcome you all to this wonderful lesson, and we are talking about an animal cell. It's just a continuation from where we ended. So I want you to be thinking in pictures even as I get to summarize this part. What happens when you put an animal cell in hypotonic solution? This is the first thing that I want us to start with. The first question that you must be having: what is an hypotonic solution? An hypotonic solution, this is a solution that gets to have a lower concentration. So this one gets to have a lower concentration of the solutes. So of the what? Of the solutes compared to, I'm going to do this, compared to the inside, compared to the inside of a cell. Which cell are we talking about here? We are talking about a cell that we get to call an animal cell. So when you put an animal cell in this hypotonic solution, the hypotonic solution, this is a solution that gets to have a lower concentration of the solutes compared to the inside cell. And one of the effects that gets to be seen, so I'm writing these things to summarize them. I'm just summarizing them so that you understand. One of the effects that gets to be seen is that water enters the cell via osmosis. I guess you understand what osmosis is. Water enters. So I'm going to say water enters the cell. Water enters the cell via osmosis. This is a cardinal point that you are supposed to know and understand. You now discover that once the water enters the cell, so once the water enters the cell, causing the cell, so this will cause, it will do what? I will do this, it will now cause the cell, it will now cause the cell to swell. This is what you are supposed to know and understand. This is what is going to happen. You discover that if too much water enters the cell might burst. So the cell will start gaining, it will start increasing like that. So if too many waters, if too much, so I'll say if too much water, if too much water enters, if too much water enters, if too much water enters the cell, so the cell may burst. The cell may do what? The cell might burst. This is what you are supposed to know and understand. This bursting is what we are calling a rise, like this, from the word rises. This is what you are supposed to. So what gets to happen is what? Rises. If it was a plant cell, we would have said that plasmorisis. So these are certain terms that you are supposed to know and understand. So this is what will happen. I guess we are moving together. This is hypotonic solution. What will then happen if we are talking about an hypertonic solution? So what if we go to an hypertonic solution? What will happen to an animal cell when we go to this? When we go to this, you are supposed to know and understand that this hypertonic solution, you need to understand the nature of this particular solution. So what is an hypertonic solution? An hypertonic solution, this is a solution that has got more. So this one is having what? More, or another way that I can use is that it has higher what? It has higher concentration. So I'll say it has higher concentration. This one gets to have higher concentration of solutes. So higher concentration of solutes compared to the inside cell. Compared to the what? Compared to the inside. Compared to the inside of a cell. So this is what you are supposed to know and understand. Whenever we are talking about an hypertonic solution, we are talking about a solution that gets to have these things, that gets to have a higher concentration of solutes compared to the inside of a cell. And the effects that are seen on the cell is that water leaves the cell to balance the solute concentration, leading to a cell shrinkage, where a cell gets to shrink. This is what you need to understand. So we are saying that water leaves the cell. Have you seen water? So the effects that is seen, the effect that is seen, so let me do this. The effects that is seen on this one is that water leaves. Water does what? Water leaves. So water leaves the cell. Water leaves the cell to balance, so it is leaving the cell so that it can balance the what? It gets to balance what we call the solute concentration. So to balance the solute concentration, this is what you are supposed to know and understand. And if this continues, it is going to lead to what? Leading to what we get to call cell. So it leads to what we call cell shrinkage. This is what gets to happen like this. And this is what we are calling crenation, where a cell gets to shrink. I guess you know what it means to shrink. So this is what gets to happen. So I want you to understand this. What gets to happen in this hypertonic solution and hypotonic solution. And the last one is what we get